At 10, Mini Arena. A load of these secret animatronics are going to be coming from FNAF VR, and most of them involve just minor appearances and they don't have any effect on actual gameplay. The Mini Arena can sometimes pop up in the Fun with Plush Trap minigame in FNAF VR. I don't actually know if it can pop up in the Fun with Balloon Boy version or even the Blacklight version, so don't assume if they will or won't, just look it up, which is probably something I should have done for this list. However, this Easter egg is rare and hasn't happened to me or anyone I've seen play it unless they were intentionally looking for it like in the video that I used, because there aren't any actual secret animatronics that haven't been revealed or something like that. It's just secret appearances. We know everything we can about this series at this point, so let's just accept this list for what it is. And 9, Plush Trap. Plush Trap will appear in 50-20 mode in Ultimate Custom Night. 50-20 mode being where you set 50 animatronics to level 20 and then you play. Which if you do, you are an absolute mad lad and you need to be put away. Okay, not actually, because that's the whole point of the game, but still. Plush Trap will be added in by Dee Dee when she starts singing about how things are unfortunate. Oh sis, you don't even know the half of it. However, if you do see Dee Dee add a new challenger, be sure you check Cam 6 right away. Because if she does indeed add Plush Trap, he will be sitting on a stool in the hallway and you only have 6 seconds to scare him off, otherwise he will jump scare you, no matter what you do. If you scare him off after those 6 seconds, he's going to come back anyway, you little frickin' turd. Why you gotta be so rude? Is it because your dad abandoned you saying he's gonna go kill more kids but he never came back with any of them for you to kill? In this case, I'm also assuming that Springtrap is your dad because you look like him the most. And at 8, Endo. Endo is basically just a naked endoskeleton that totally screws with what the phone guy says in FNAF 1 to explain why the animatronics are attacking you. He said it's because you look like a naked endoskeleton, but then there is one standing right there in your office in FNAF 2 and FNAF VR. They totally ignore it. This one is similar to the Mini Arena. Just keep restarting the level and eventually you will find Endo standing at the right of your desk. This can happen in both blacklight mode and regular mode on any night. And I know that now the explanation for why they're attacking you is because you play as Michael Afton, who looks like his father, who's the one that killed all the kids in the first place, but come on. I really don't like logical inconsistencies. I've probably made so many countering comments over previous videos. I probably can't say anything about logical inconsistencies at this point. And at 7, Shadow Bonnie. Shadow Bonnie is another challenger that can be added into the game after Dee Dee starts singing like my Aunt Denise at Thanksgiving after having a little too much cranberry sauce. I don't know why she does it, she just does. Do cranberries have any hallucinogenic properties to them, like nutmeg in high doses? Or would berries in Pokemon potentially be hallucinogenic? Hence why the Pokemon think that their HP just got increased by 10. As I was saying, Shadow Bonnie can just be thrown into the game at any time, usually closer to the start of the night. However, when active, Shadow Bonnie will appear in your office on the right hand side, and then will just proceed to flicker the lights and then just cut them off completely for around 20 to 21 seconds. During that time, the office is practically pitch black, and you are unable to see if there are any other animatronics with you unless you use a flashlight, thus wasting even more power. It's a pretty strong ability if I'm being totally honest. If I had the ability to just turn off lights whenever I wanted without needing a light switch, I would be having so much fun. Who the hell? And at 6, Helpy. Oh my god, I hate this little bugger. And not just because of buff Helpy anymore, just because of the damn Helpy horror sections from the Foxy Cove Pirate Ride and the Curse of Dreadbear DLC. But while Helpy makes a prominent appearance there, you may not have had a chance to see him appear in the main menu screen for the game. In the main level selection screen for the base game, Helpy can appear holding onto the monitor and hanging off the side like some sort of demonic fireman. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, because let's face it, if you load in expecting to see a normal menu screen and then you see a giant bear right in front of your face, you'd be pretty concerned too. You can also see Helpy in FNAF 2's office, behind you, like some sort of weird peeping Tom that gets off on you being terrified and uses it as motivation to work out later. Yeah, you can also encounter him at the same time as Endo, making this all the more terrifying. Did he put Endo in your office? Why would he do that? How is Helpy even at the FNAF 2 location? Who knows anymore? I sure as hell don't. Halfway through at number 5, Nightmare Chica. Nightmare Chica is one of the most terrifying secret animatronics in the whole game of Ultimate Custom Night. Again, summoned after Dee Dee sings her song, Nightmare Chica will appear right behind you, and is actually capable of jump scaring the player. You'll know if Chica is behind you because you will all of a sudden see the teeth. Yes, if Nightmare Chica is summoned, you will literally see her start to close her mouth around you, and to fight this off, you either need to turn on the air conditioning or the heat in an effort to make her go away. But once you do that, she's done for the night. I don't know if Dee Dee can pop back up and summon her again, but if she can't, then you won't have to deal with her again. If Chica closes her mouth around your head, she will jump scare you, end the night, and let's be honest, probably claw your face off and use it as pepperoni. You also have to turn the AC on, which is weird because I had to turn my AC off, and it's been off for like 10 minutes, and it's already up to 30 degrees in my apartment, so yay. And at 4, Bidybab. The appearance of Bidybab is identical to that of the mini Rena in FNAF VR. The Bidybab may show up in Circus Baby's dark room level, where you need to hide in the closet like my roommate did for countless years. However, this time you're hiding from Baby as she looks around the room for you until she sees you, runs over, then makes you close the door and hold it shut until she forgets you're there and then goes away. Until she sees you again, then you have to close the door and then do the same thing for hours and hours. But by the door, you can end up seeing a little Bidybab just standing there, menacingly. And if you are one of the people who commented on the first scariest FNAF animatronics video saying that the Bidybabs weren't scary, obviously you haven't seen this Easter egg, because holy crap, it's terrifying just to see it there, staring, laughing, wanting us to die and suffer. It's like any normal baby. Just kidding, Landon, don't fire me. And at 3, Lolbit. Lolbit actually does make an appearance in Ultimate Custom Night, however, it's not in the same vein as the others. While the other animatronics are actually visible, Lolbit's bit is just a load of loud noises as the please stand by graphic shows up on the screen, blocking the middle of your vision. The whole point of this character is to cause noise, since there are characters who jump scare you based on sound, as made evident by the noise bar in the bottom left of the screen. This makes a whole lot of noise for a long time, meaning that all the animatronics will know you're there, and the Music Man, if he is in the game, will jump scare you basically immediately, because Music Man hates noise for some reason. Gotta love that logic. And at 2, XOR. I didn't know that Elon Musk's kid was an animatronic. This animatronic is actually in the same vein as Shadow Bonnie, with a name that still makes more sense than X Archangel 12 in Roman numerals. This animatronic is referred to as Shadow Dee Dee, which acts in a similar way to Dee Dee in this game. However, the color palette changes to black, white, and red, and the song she sings goes backwards and is lower pitched. However, this is probably the worst thing you can get in this game, because instead of summoning one extra animatronic, it summons all of them. Every single one. Hell, based on the description on the wiki, it may summon every single animatronic in the game. Yeah, it's terrifying. But there is one animatronic that is honestly a real surprise and is probably the most interesting one on this list. So, coming in at number 1, Coffee. Now, in FNAF VR, you can see multiple animatronics, all of which were on this list. However, the most interesting one is probably the only actual secret animatronic on this list, and it's Coffee, which isn't even an animatronic from the FNAF series. It's actually from another one of Scott's games, which failed, like every other game before FNAF. Coffee is from the game called Desolate Hope, and it's an autonomous service robot designed to tend to the needs of nearby humans. It's basically a sentient coffee machine that actually makes coffee, unlike the one from Yog Labs. Coffee can be seen in Five Nights 3 if you reload the level enough times in FNAF VR, and he will be sitting on your desk, unable to be interacted with, and he won't even make you coffee. Maybe he is more like the Yog Labs coffee machine than I thought.
Number 10, Plush Trap. Well, Plush Trap became mightily popular after his first appearance. Initially, he was intended to be a more uncommon animatronic in comparison to the main cast. Plush Trap first appeared as a minor character in FNAF 4, but would go on to become a major villain in later games such as Help Wanted and Special Delivery. Plush Trap's main claim to fame was his own minigame where he was the star in FNAF 4, but only really in that one minigame, in Fun with Plush Trap. You having fun yet? The objective of the game was to catch Plush Trap on the X by shining your flashlight at him and avoid being jump scared, obviously. Plush Trap would also appear as one of the hidden characters in the Ultimate Custom Night, where you could catch him hanging out around Funtime Foxy's stage. There, you'd want to make him scurry off anytime you caught him nearby. Get out of here, Plush Trap, what you doing? Don't mess with me. Number 9, Shadow Bonnie. Also known as Rickfax. No, that doesn't sound good. So we'll just spell it out then. RWQFSFASXC. I think I said all the letters. I hope I said all the letters. If I didn't, you can let me know in the comments. Shadow Bonnie, despite appearing in many different games, has always had a smaller role. In FNAF 2, their appearance was also so rare, it made people question if they had really seen Shadow Bonnie at all, or were actually hallucinating in-game themselves. Dun dun dun. Imagining Shadow Bonnie had appeared when, of course, they hadn't. But don't worry, they had. You weren't hallucinating. It's all good. Shadow Bonnie is such a creepy figure, appearing as is a shadowy figure shaped just like Bonnie. However, they are so much in shadow that they appear as inky black as a room that has been thrown into pitch darkness, without any crack of light shining in on it. It's therefore hard to make out their features, and they almost appear 2D. Every inch of them is shrouded in immense darkness except for their eyes and teeth, which glow a bright, luminescent white, making their appearance startle you even more when you happen to notice them peering out at you before fading away. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, don't forget to click all the things, hit the subscribe, comment, like, share, you know, all the cool stuff. All the stuff that all the cool kids are doing. Everyone's gonna be like, Amanda, why are you so old? In the comments. You know what I'm asking of you. Please do it. It really does help. I'm not just saying that. Number 8. Lolbit. Lolbit started out as a rare animatronic that became so popular they were more integrated into the game. But let's not forget that Lolbit started out as mainly just a head in the FNAF franchise. Just a head. Well, I guess technically they were in FNAF World first, as that game came out originally in January of 2016, and FNAF's sister location didn't come out till later that year in October. Still, when they made their way into the main continuity of games, or the considered canon games at the time, they were just a head. No doubt a reference or Easter egg to the character from FNAF World. But from there, Lolbit ended up getting a full body appearance once more, but not until they appeared in Help Wanted. Everybody loves Lolbit. Number 7. Shadow Freddy. Even more rare in a way, as they haven't caught on as much as Shadow Bonnie as Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy has also appeared in less games besides, and some of those appearances were more as Easter eggs or cameos than anything. Shadow Freddy also made their first appearance in FNAF 2 like Shadow Bonnie, but does not boast of a more complex or elongated name in comparison to the other animatronic. They've also since appeared in a few minigames in FNAF, but never been known to be a leading role or a main antagonist. Sad. Number 6. Bidybabs. We talk about the mini arenas all the time here on the channel, but a group of animatronics that we don't really talk about as often, who are equally creepy and terrifying and deserve a chance in the spotlight, are the Bidybabs. The Bidybabs are the sidekick animatronics of Circus Baby, although for being part of her entourage, we don't really see them with Baby as often as you might think. Circus Baby seems to often prefer to strike out on her own, or just in general with her other principal animatronics from sister location. The Bidybabs really only appear in sister location as active characters, and after that were relegated to the background, making no more than cameo or Easter egg appearances in Ultimate Custom Night and Help Wanted. Poor little Bidybabs. I didn't forget about you creepy little cuties though. Number 5. Shadow Cupcake. I mean, I already have so many of the shadows on here, I figured I may as well talk about the Shadow Cupcake besides. Or Shadow Cupcakes, I guess. Shadow Cupcake only ever appeared in FNAF 3. You can click on them in Night 3 when they appear to access the minigame Chica's Party. Otherwise, they just appear on the cams as almost decor. They can also be found as little characters in the minigame Chica's Party in the game's secret area, if you know where to look and how to find that area. They also appear in the minigame that follows Night 2 to hint at the minigame to come, Chica's Party. But really, all of their appearances are contained in this one overall game of FNAF 3. So pretty rare. Number 4. Dee Dee. You might know JJ, the female version of Balloon Boy, but do you know Dee Dee? Also the female version of Balloon Boy? Or I don't know, are we calling these characters like Balloon Boy's sisters? That's how I like to think of them. This is the version who first appeared in FNAF World, whereas JJ was the lesser seen or known character perhaps from FNAF 2. I personally prefer Dee Dee to JJ if I had to pick one of the two, but it was JJ who actually ended up landing the big role in Ultimate Custom Night, while Dee Dee only ended up being one of the discoverable secret characters. Dee Dee's hat would also make an appearance in Help Wanted, and only of course in the Curse of the Dreadbear DLC, making her but an Easter egg in that game. And only if you have the DLC, so wow, that's pretty rare. I keep saying rare and then I'm thinking like we're collecting these FNAF animatronics. I keep thinking of like Pokemon cards. Number 3. Calavera Cupcake. The Calavera Cupcake appeared as the Day of the Dead version of Mr. Cupcake in Special Delivery. This version only appeared with Katrina Toy Chica as part of the Halloween 2020 event in the game. The Calavera version of the little cupcake was instead reskinned to represent a sugar skull, as opposed to a cupcake, but still has of course a candle in its head to match the overall look of Mr. Cupcake. Though I'm not sure if you'd actually want to put a candle in a sugar skull. Sugar has a tendency to melt when it gets hot, so this might just, I don't know, make Calavera melt away. But I don't know, I'm not as familiar with the Day of the Dead festival, so yeah, let me know. Is this a thing that people do? Do people actually put candles in sugar skulls? Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I guess it's possible that this version of Mr. Cupcake is of course not edible and that this Calavera is instead made out of clay, which is also a thing that can happen, I believe. Not all Calaveras are edible after all. That is one thing that I do know. You can't eat all sugar skulls, so don't try to do that, because they might not be made of sugar. Number 2, Egg Baby. Egg Baby has only appeared in 2 games so far, and in both, their role was small. In Pizzeria Simulator, Egg Baby appears to be a decoration and nothing more, though it is possible that Egg Baby has some other purpose, besides being a weird buy at $6,000. Who would pay $6,000 for this Egg Baby? I don't know, but you might in the game, so yeah. It is believed the Egg Baby can also scan blueprints belonging to Fazbear Entertainment and Afton Robotics, and then safely, I don't know, saves them? What for? I'm not sure. This belief comes from the fact that it is also given the name Data Archive. Number 1, Golden Cupcake. If you thought the Shadow Cupcake was rare, the Golden Cupcake is even more rare. It appears only as a picture in FNAF 3 on occasion, replacing Toy Bonnie's picture as shown on Cam 4. When the Cupcake picture replaces Toy Bonnie's, you'll get the chance of paying attention to reveal the Golden Cupcake, which appears to be just an alternate version of Mr. Cupcake, who instead of having pink frosting, comes with yellow frosting instead. I personally would love to see more of the Golden Cupcake, as I personally feel like it could be a fun little treat or reward that could pop up later in the games, like, you know, exotic butters, or any of the treats we can unlock from the prize counter, such as the slice of cake, pirate plunder bar, or the exotic butters beverage, which I believe are all things in Help Wanted. Help Wanted, what a weird, wonderful place. Is it weird that I see cupcake animatronics and I want to eat them, by the way? I don't know if that's weird. Should I be scared by these animatronics, or is it okay that I'm like, cupcakes?
And at 10 Fazbear Frights owners. Now this is a bit of a cheaty one, but the guys who actually end up opening, or maybe where they're just like working in Fazbear Frights, the location that we're in for FNAF 3 don't actually have names, even like let alone faces. The guy who says that they found old training tapes, or the one who introduces the actual phone guy tapes, has never really been seen. Which makes sense given that he's not really a major character, but it's still something that I think is worth mentioning, okay? Because without them, there would be no FNAF 3, which means that there'd be no rest of the series. Like either because they wouldn't have opened the place if they didn't exist, or even if they weren't like the owners and they were just like the key holders or something, they wouldn't have been there to open the door, thus no gameplay other than just standing outside. So even if you're mad at me for it, these guys, whatever their names are, deserve their moment in the spotlight. So thank you, possibly deceased FNAF 3 guys, for your service to this series as a whole, as well as your contributions to breaking my brain. I really appreciate it. And at 9, Lewis. Lewis was introduced in FNAF AR through emails that he's lucky only he is able to see and not HR. Lewis is a creepy coworker of Ness who works IT at the company creating all the robots for the Fazbear Entertainment delivery service that we experience in Special Delivery, and is probably the creepiest damn character in the entire series, including William. You know what, honestly I'm surprised that he wasn't killed, especially because Ness is indeed Vanessa and Vanny, since he seems to be onto their scheme a little bit. Like he's intercepted search queries and emails that just make Ness seem off and straight up like a serial killer, since she ordered realistic human masks at some point, didn't she? Well, honestly, we know more about these human masks than we do about Lewis, since we know nothing about him. We only know his name, not even a voice or a face. So yeah, Lewis is certainly one of FNAF's hidden characters. And for the few people in the comments saying that FNAF AR is a fan game, no it's not. Why on earth would you think that it was, okay? What gave you that impression? It is a canonical entry to the series. It's not a full game, but it's still like FNAF 8.5 at least. And at 8, Jeremy. As I've said in the Souls Trapped in Animatronics video, Jeremy is probably the biggest troll name in FNAF history, being used for 3 separate characters. However, only 2 of them are actually direct victims of William. Jeremy is the name of one of the original missing children who goes on to possess Bonnie. The other Jeremy is a playtester for the Freddy Fazbear virtual experience, the one who was testing the game before Tape Girl, who ends up finding the glitch trap anomaly, and that causes him to go mad. And by going mad, I mean genuinely psycho. It's since Jeremy ends up cutting off his own face, which is interesting, given that the Withered Bonnie animatronic as seen in FNAF 2, is also missing his face. It's interesting because like Withered Bonnie is the animatronic possessed by the missing children's incident Jeremy, but then this Jeremy cuts off his face. I mean, like, I don't know if that was, if it means anything or if it's intended or just a coincidence, but knowing this series, I'm always worried that like the smallest detail is gonna have the biggest consequence. Either way, okay, we don't end up seeing Jeremy's face before or after he removed it. And the fact that he removed it makes him even more hidden in my mind. But like, bro, seriously, how the hell did you do that? And it's 7 original victims. While yes, we see the original victims' ghosts in the FNAF 3 Happiest Day minigame, as well as when they create Springtrap, they literally all use the same ghost sprite, okay? So we haven't really seen their true forms in the games. We've seen a potential look for Cassidy in the survival logbook, but within the context of the games, we've never really seen what the original missing children look like. So in a way, Gabriel, Susie, Fritz, Jeremy, and Cassidy are all hidden characters in that sense. I know that you were probably expecting this list to be about characters that we don't know about, but how the hell could we make that list? That just doesn't seem possible. If we don't know the characters, how are we supposed to find out about the characters for a list? I have no contact with Scott Cawthon, and even if I did, I don't think that he'd spill the beans on characters we missed. I don't think it would happen. And it's 6 sister location technicians. The technicians are 2 employees of Fazbear Entertainment Inc. who used to work with the Funtime animatronics of Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental from FNAF's sister location. One technician is soft-spoken and seems bored with his job, implying that he may be used to it, while the other, who speaks using a Brooklyn accent, appears to be less experienced and more uneasy with the environment of Circus Babies. The 2 technicians appear for the first time during Night 4, when they use the scooper on Ballora, and during Night 5, their dead bodies are seen hanging in Ballora's gallery and the Funtime Auditorium. It's unknown why Ender didn't use one of their bodies to escape. Some fans speculate that it was because the Funtime animatronics wanted to make Michael Afton suffer, because, like, you know, they thought he was William, they wanted to get revenge, they wanted to torture him. However, we never actually get to see the faces of these characters, and on all honesty, in my opinion, they could still be fake. Considering how these animatronics are at times able to recreate the voices of other people, could these actually just be dummy bodies meant to scare us? And like, Ender needed Ballora to get scooped anyway so that she could then become a part of Ennard. So why would they want to kill them for revenge on that? Is it because of the shocking baby thing? Because like even then, I feel like baby's probably into that. Halfway through into number 5, Mrs. Afton. Despite the thorough belief in some fans that Mrs. Afton possessed Ballora, we haven't actually seen Mrs. Afton at all in the games. Well, honestly, we don't even know her actual 100% confirmed as canon name. So a hidden character Mrs. Afton certainly is. We don't even know what happened to her or if she really existed at all, or if Afton's kids just were adopted and then he used Ballora as a surrogate mother. Like, sure, there's a family table in Security Breach with a mother at it, but that could just be because there was a mother figure in their lives, at least. But we don't know if that figure was the kid's biological mother, or hell, if she was even human. So yeah, there also isn't really any evidence in the game or any other real part of the lore that suggests what happened to her if she was married to William. Some say that she dies in a car crash. I'd say that there's nothing that suggests she died at all, but it's FNAF, so that is a safe bet. But other than that, there's not really an explanation as to what happened with Mrs. Afton, or who she was as a person, or even as a mother, okay, if she ever got the chance to be. So yeah, mystery. In at 4, Tape Girl. Tape Girl was a developer for the Freddy Fazbear virtual experience in FNAF Help Wanted. However, given the unknown malicious code in the game, she left secrets scattered amongst the minigames in hopes that it would be dealt with at a later time. Procrastination right there. All of her tapes can be played in the tape room, which can be unlocked by hitting the tape placed on the shelf in the prize counter with any droppable item. Once unlocked, it can be accessed through the tape player placed above the smaller monitor in the level select room from Blacklight mode. The tape room is mostly just darkness with a desk in the center, but on that desk there is a shelf where all the tapes that you've collected are stored. The player can listen to them by just selecting them, and then it goes in the tape player. You don't really need to pick anything up or move it. But all we ever see about Tape Girl is her voice. There is nothing else, which begs the question if she was even real, or if this is a sort of like glitch trap acting like baby thing, where he made her up so that we'd trust her, and then he ultimately locked us away in our minds. Honestly, I don't doubt that. I feel like that could be a thing, although it's not likely. Getting close to the end, and at number 3, the top. Now, whether or not she knew about this, okay, Vanessa's recommendation for the night guard position came from the top. That's how it's described in the game, which does end up confusing plenty of people in the administration, as we learned from other various duffel bags. She had no security experience, and she was being transferred from another part of the company, but nevertheless, she still got the job, despite multiple people saying that they wouldn't go forward with hiring her, which ultimately probably led to their deaths, if we're totally honest. So, who on earth is the one ordering her promotions? Seemingly, we got no idea. We could assume maybe it's William, but he's currently plugged in charging in the basement, so it would have to be someone else who knew her, and knew Afton's interest in her, and then made her a VR tester so that she could then get possessed, and then made her a security guard afterwards so that Afton could get her to do what he needed her to do. But who could it possibly be? MatPat seems to think that it's Gregory as a hacker who's pulling the strings, but until that's confirmed, it's yet another person in this series that we've heard about but have yet to see. God damn it, Scott. But ultimately, in at number 2, Henry Emily. While Henry does ultimately perish thanks to the FNAF 6 fire, he honestly should have been a target for William beforehand, especially once he learned about who was actually committing crimes in the restaurants. But William didn't go after him for some reason. I mean, like, maybe it would have been too obvious. Like, there were 5 murders that occurred inside the walls of the restaurants, and they already suspect William for it, but then boom, his business partner goes missing, and William is left as the sole proprietor to the business. That is a super sus move that would definitely result in being ejected, okay? Like, motive means an opportunity. Motive, absolutely there, especially if, like, let's say William was, like, cheating with Henry's wife or something, which I doubt. But I mean, like, means easy to find. Just find the knife. And then, like, honestly, killing Henry would only have resulted in William going to jail, which probably saved Henry's life. But still, despite all of this, we still don't know what Henry looks like. I mean, we have the desk guy, who is like our best guess to be Henry, but that's 8-bit. And other than that, we have no look for him in the games. Maybe he shows up in like the Silver Eyes graphic novel, I'm not sure. But you're all adamant that the books and games are separate. Okay, so if he is, you can't yell at me in the comments without being hypocritical, okay? So if he's in the novels, if he's in the graphic novel where we actually get visual representation, you can't yell at me for it. I win. Ha! And finally, in number 1, Phone Guy. While in the end, Phone Guy wasn't the killer, he still isn't really very helpful in the long run, considering how he says that we aren't actually going to get killed. Well, okay, like, he warns us to be careful, but he doesn't say explicitly you're going to die. I don't know. I don't like this guy, okay? He could have done so much more. And in essence, all he said was be careful, it's trial and error. Because honestly, after surviving this job for so long, you'd think that whoever this Phone Guy is would have had some goddamn tips on how not to die. But instead, he just gives us the freaking company motto. Like, I don't care if one of the animatronics bit someone 10 years ago, okay? They're trying to kill me now. What do I do? Anyway, this is the original FNAF hidden character. Okay, we know that he's voiced by Scott, but unless the Phone Guy is moonlighting as a rogue indie game developer, they aren't the same dude, okay? We have no idea what the Phone Guy looks like, okay? He can't look like Scott unless he is the indie game developer now. So yeah, we don't know what he looks like. And honestly, at this point, the Phone Guy might still be William Afton. And we can't tell, since we've never seen him. I mean, we've heard William talk, but maybe he was just faking an American accent like freaking Tom Holland does, okay? It's a thing.